Captain Doman, it is with sadness that I inform you that I will be resigning from my position as Area Social Services Director at the Central Virginia Area Command. My last day of employment will be September 28th, 2018. It was the summer of 2018. I had been at the Salvation Army for 7 years, heading into my 8th, and this would be the start of this third cycle of growth I had experienced since being hired. I had thought I would stay for 10 years because I would be fully vested in my pension. I would have time to see the new shelter secured, if not fully built. And it was a nice even number. But life doesn't work like that. So my third cycle was initiated on June 20, 2018, when I sat down with the captain and the HR generalist and read my resignation. I have titled this presentation, The Cycle of Growth, Reimagining Your Comfort Zone. So I want to tell you how I see it. The cycle has 3 basic parts. There's no timeline because every cycle starts and ends somewhere different for each cycle, let alone each person. The first step in the cycle is walking into uncharted territory, an unfamiliar area or situation. An uncharted territory doesn't mean other people haven't been there, it just means you haven't. The second step in the cycle is when you become settled, comfortable, familiar with the situation, comfortable with your ability to navigate, and you have an established routine. And the third step in the cycle is the comfort zone, a situation where one feels safe, at ease, and without stress. That is the definition of the comfort zone. And it is right, kinda, but also incomplete. As I began to prepare for today and really started thinking things through at a deeper level than in the past, I expanded my understanding of the comfort zone. And that is what I want to share today, a reimagining of the comfort zone. I hope that by the time I'm finished, you will see the comfort zone not as a resting place, but as a launching pad. What do I mean? When you think about the comfort zone, it is almost never discussed as a mere description of your situation. If your life is going as you planned and I come and ask you how you are doing, you may say great. You may rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, or you may say I am living my best life. But what you and almost no one would say is I'm in the comfort zone. Think about that for a few seconds. Have you ever described yourself as in the comfort zone in response to how are you? If so, you would be rare. Almost no one would answer that question in that way. And why? Because the comfort zone is almost always used to describe a situation or opportunity in contrast to another situation or opportunity, a better situation or opportunity, or perceived better. It is most often the case that you think about being in the comfort zone when you are thinking of change or a move or a major detour from your current situation or plan. Think about when you have used or heard this term. You think about your comfort zone only because there is another zone that is inviting, engaging, intriguing to you, but it is also new, unfamiliar, uncharted territory. When most people talk about the comfort zone, it is because they are wrestling with staying where they are safe and familiar, or going to something that is more desirable, but less safe, less familiar. So for me, the comfort zone is really the place where an irritant, and I will use that word a lot, is introduced to the settled, comfortable place where you are and begins to push you to desire something different, something more. Pearls are beautiful. Pearls are created because an oyster protects itself against an irritant that enters its shell. They secrete layers of nacre to protect themselves from the irritant, and over time, a pearl is formed. Something beautiful and valuable comes from the irritant. No irritant, no pearl. In the comfort zone, the irritant is intended to make you do something different to protect yourself from boredom, laziness, relational apathy, lack of purpose, financial insecurity, or spiritual stagnation. In the comfort zone, there's always a qualifier to the comfort. In the comfort zone, things are going well, except the job is awesome, but the relationship is good. However, my career is soaring. Yet, in the past, I always saw the comfort zone like probably most of you, just as the dictionary defines it, a place or situation where one feels safe or at ease and without stress. But now I realize that it is all of that, which is also why it is the place where you feel unfulfilled. It is the place where one is safe, but is thinking about more. The comfort zone is the place where technically you can rest for a long time. Some do it for their whole lives, and you can be okay, but you can't be great in the comfort zone. And you know it. Why? Because at the end of the definition is the idea of no stress. Safety is great. At ease is awesome. No stress seems fantastic. But no, it isn't. We need what psychology has termed eustress, EU stress, to enjoy life. Eustress is defined as a positive form of stress having a beneficial effect on health, motivation, performance, and emotional well-being. Living in the comfort zone in any area of your life can actually be detrimental. We are so fearfully and wonderfully made, as David declares in Psalm 139:14, that our body actually signals us, irritates us if we have no stress, just as much as if we have too much stress. You have to decide, do you live irritated, unfulfilled, and just okay? Or do you start a new cycle in uncharted territory, tapping into that eustress, that ability to challenge yourself, but not too much stress, to see where God wants you to go or what he wants you to do next? Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." God has plans for us that we don't get a blueprint to at the beginning of life. He is building us, growing us, sanctifying us, transforming us day by day. That should not just be treated as a spiritual truth, it is a practical reality. We were created for the cycle of beginning in uncharted territory, then settled mastery, and then a pricking in our comfort zone to do something new. Let me give you a practical example that we can all relate to. Babies are born into uncharted territory. God designed us that way. All of us are born into the part of the cycle that as adults, most are afraid to return to. I think that's ironic. Everything for a baby is new the first time. But let's jump forward 8 months. The baby starts to push up on their hands and knees and they just rock. You've seen them back and forth, not getting anywhere, but just rocking. Parents get super excited because they know crawling is coming, but it doesn't happen on day one. And the baby doesn't know what crawling is yet. They don't go anywhere for a little while, but over a few weeks, they get on their hands and knees quicker, they stay longer, and they fall over less. They have gone from uncharted territory to comfort and even mastery. But God has created us to move. So once they're getting on hands and knees is mastered, they hit the comfort zone. That little irritation that says, I want to do more. They are safe and skilled getting on their hands and knees, but now they want to move. And mom and dad will sit a little distance away and encourage them to come. They know there is more. So they start trying to move their hands and knees, and they are completely uncoordinated. Crawling is now the uncharted territory. But to get where they want to go, they keep working, keep trying. And before you know it, they are zooming all over the house. Any parents out there? You must block the stairs and the stove and the cabinets because little hands have access that they didn't have now. Depending on the child, that can last a little while. But eventually, the little irritation comes to now stand up. They see other people, they don't know that it's called standing or walking, but they see other people doing it. And here's the amazing thing that God has built into us and his plans for us. All the phases before give us the strength and the skills for the next phase. Crawling makes the baby's legs and joints stronger in their core, back, hips, and shoulders. It improves their balance, helps with vision to guide them, develops hand-eye coordination, increases sensory development, problem-solving skills, cognition, independence, and confidence. All the things they need for walking. And so they walk and they fall. They walk a little further, they take a couple more steps, they fall less. They walk and eventually stop falling. And now they master walking. And then it's on to running and so much more. God designed us to start where we know nothing, uncharted territory, to then learn and grow and master, and then desire more in that comfort zone. This is not about discontentment. It is about killing complacency and participating in God's built-in cycle of growth. God has plans. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 9 says, but as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love him. If God has made things in heaven that are so amazing that we can't even comprehend it, why would he have less desire for us here? Why would his plans for us here be ordinary? God intended Israel to be the greatest nation ever, not for them only, but as a witness for him. He is no less motivated now for his people to live lives that reflect his plans and purpose for us, bring him glory, and point others to him. The little irritant is telling you, that little unease is telling you, I need to do something different. God is pushing me to something more. This is not all there is. If the oyster just ignored the sand and hoped it would wash away or be removed, no pearls would be created. God created the oyster to respond to the irritant with nacre. God created us to respond to his prodding, the irritants, with action. The irritant is necessary to force action. The irritant is necessary when growth is necessary. No one grows in their settled states. No one grows in their settled states. There's this statistic, I don't know if it's just in the United States, that says less than 10% of people read a book, one book, after they graduate from high school. Whether they live to be 30 or they live to be 90, less than 10% of people in America, at least, read any book in its completion. Growth doesn't happen in settled states. The introduction of the irritant, transforming that settlement into a comfort zone, is when the steps to growth begin. It's when the beginning of a pearl begins to form. It can take 6 months or up to 4 years, but step by step, the right actions taken to address the irritant will produce beauty. So what are some irritants in our lives that are allowed to, that God allows to help us to recognize our comfort zones and take the necessary growth action? Number one, lack of purpose. Remaining in the comfort zone despite the persistent irritant urging you to embrace your purpose often stems from fear, lack of clarity, or even the allure of current success. Fear of the unknown can be paralyzing, convincing you that the security of familiarity is preferable to the risk associated with change. Lack of clarity about one's true purpose can also create hesitation, as the path forward seems obscure and fraught with uncertainty. Success in a career or the grip of ego can further anchor us in our comfort zones, blinding us to the greater fulfillment that lies beyond immediate achievements. These obstacles collectively conspire to keep us stagnant, preventing the pursuit of our true calling. Allowing obstacles to hinder your journey towards your purpose can have detrimental effects. Staying in the comfort zone despite the inner irritant signaling a need for change leads to a life of unrealized potential and dissatisfaction. This misalignment breeds a sense of unfulfillment as you remain out of step with your true calling. Over time, the security of the comfort zone transforms into a trap, stifling growth and leading to stagnation. And some of you probably know people who are in that trap. The longer you resist the call to purpose, the more profound the regret and frustration become, eroding your sense of self-worth and happiness. However, taking decisive action to align with your purpose can have profoundly positive effects, akin to creating pearls from the irritants of life. Moving beyond the comfort zone involves embracing discomfort as a divine nudge towards your true path. This journey requires courage and self-reflection, but yields immense rewards. Living in alignment with your purpose brings a deep sense of fulfillment and joy that transcends the temporary satisfaction of comfort. It fosters growth, resilience, and a heightened sense of contribution to the world. Overcoming obstacles and fears transforms not only your life, but also impacts those you are called to serve, as your passion and purpose inspire and uplift others. Recognizing discomfort as a signpost to your true path and taking bold steps towards your purpose is essential for a life of meaning and fulfillment. Your comfort zone is not a resting place for your purpose to languish, but a launching pad for your purpose to take off. Number two, the second irritant that many people experience is marital apathy. Apathy is a lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. Relational or marital apathy, the state where both partners become complacent and disengaged, is a silent irritant that signals the need for urgent action. Many people ignore marital irritants when they are small and they don't act, and consequently they wake up one day and there's apathy on one or both sides. When comfort transforms into a comfort zone, it halts personal and relational growth, leading to a sense of stagnation. This stagnation breeds frustration as the excitement and dynamism that once characterized the relationship completely fades away. The once fulfilling bond now feels like a burden, causing emotional distance and dissatisfaction. Recognizing this apathy is crucial, as it serves as a wake-up call indicating that the relationship requires growth. Ignoring relational apathy or taking the wrong actions can hasten the demise of a marriage. If the underlying issues are not addressed, the frustration and emotional distance can intensify, leading to resentment and conflict. We've all seen this. Misguided actions such as placing blame, avoiding communication, or seeking fulfillment outside the marriage can exacerbate the problem, driving a further wedge between partners. Without intentional efforts to rejuvenate the relationship, apathy can spiral into irreversible damage, culminating in separation or divorce. Therefore, recognizing the irritant of relational apathy and responding with thoughtful and constructive actions is essential for preserving and enhancing marital or relational bonds. Conversely, taking proactive steps to address relational irritants before it becomes apathy at best, or at least when it becomes apathy at worst, can transform a marriage from mundane to blissful. Engaging in self-reflection allows each partner to identify personal areas of improvement and rediscover their individual passions, which can then be shared and celebrated within the relationship. Seeking counseling provides a structured environment for open communication, helping partners to understand each other's needs that have changed over time and perspectives more deeply. By exploring uncharted territories together, such as new hobbies, adventures, or even revisiting old memories, couples can rekindle their connection and create new shared experiences. These actions foster growth, renew intimacy, and deepen the emotional bond, leading to a more vibrant and fulfilling marriage. There is an endless supply of good, healthy relationship and marriage information. Anyone who experiences marital irritants doesn't move from the comfort zone of this is how I've always been to the uncharted territory of books, podcasts, counseling, retreats, seminars, or whatever action it takes to restore the relationship, is failing to live up to the covenant they made before God. Your comfort zone should not be the final resting place for your marriage to die, but a launching pad for your marriage to soar. And number 3, spiritual stagnation. Ignoring or stifling the irritant of spiritual stagnation poses significant dangers to one's spiritual life. Many individuals persist in maintaining a superficial connection with God, continuing familiar religious practices without addressing the emptiness or lack of wholeness in their hearts. This spiritual apathy results in a lack of fruit in their lives, manifesting as a disconnection from divine purpose and a sense of unfulfilled potential. Several factors can contribute to this inertia, including tradition, fear, selfishness, or a lack of understanding. Tradition can bind individuals to routines that lack depth. Tradition is the comfort zone. While fear of change or confronting personal shortcomings can inhibit growth, selfishness, manifested as prioritizing personal desires over spiritual needs, and a lack of understanding about the transformative power of a genuine relationship with God also keeps individuals spiritually stagnant. Failing to address spiritual stagnation can lead to spiritual regression. We don't stand still. Persisting in a state of spiritual apathy results in a continued sense of emptiness and unfulfillment, as the lack of genuine connection with God leaves a void in our hearts. This stagnation can manifest in various negative ways, including lack of joy, love of sin, and aimlessness in life. I think we've probably all experienced those angry Christians. And a lot of times it's the irritants that they're ignoring that says, no, I need you to go deeper with me. I need you to drop that. I need you to leave that alone. But we persist, our relationship draw further away from God, and we don't have the joy of the Lord because we don't have the Lord. We stay in our comfort zone in our spirituality. The absence of spiritual growth can also lead to a weakened witness, as our lives fail to reflect the transformative power of a close relationship with God. Over time, the consequences of spiritual neglect can extend to our overall well-being, affecting our mental, emotional, and even physical health. Therefore, it is crucial to recognize the irritant of spiritual stagnation in our comfort zone as a divine pull towards a deeper, more fulfilling relationship with God. Then we must take intentional steps to nurture that connection through spiritual disciplines. However, when we recognize that we are in a spiritual comfort zone that is pushing us to act, we can take those steps to reclaim and deepen our relationship with God, which will have positive impact on us and others. Engaging in spiritual disciplines such as Bible study, prayer, meditation, and fasting revitalizes our spiritual lives, fostering a deeper connection with our Heavenly Father. These practices not only draw us closer to God, but also enhance our understanding of His will and purpose for our lives. As we grow spiritually, we begin to bear fruit in our lives, reflecting love, joy, peace, and other virtues that come from a close relationship with God. This transformation not only benefits us personally, but also enhances our witness to others, inspiring and encouraging those around us to seek a deeper connection with God. By moving beyond mere tradition to a genuine, vibrant relationship with God, we experience a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose. Your comfort zone is not a resting place for superficial spirituality, but a launching pad for genuine connection with God. My final thoughts are this. On May 18th, 2011, I graduated from Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia with a Master of Social Work degree. I was driving to my church where my graduation party was held when I got a life-changing phone call. Lorraine, I'm calling to let you know that we would love to offer you the position of Social Services Program Coordinator at the Salvation Army. I was so excited that I didn't see the red light turn green, and I just sat there until it turned red again. When I accepted that job, I stepped into uncharted territory. I was not new at working or being successful at my jobs, but I had never done this before. I had never worked with this organization or served this population or worked with this structure, system, or people. It was all uncharted territory, but it was necessary. I couldn't just stay in grad school and keep doing what I knew. I couldn't return to paying insurance claims because it was familiar. The whole point of graduate school was to do work in the field. And so I stepped into the unknown because it was the only option for growth. Within a few months, this was no longer unfamiliar, uncharted territory. I had in many regards mastered the work and had even begun fine-tuning, building in efficiencies, improving the structure and processes. But when I walked into work every day, I no longer had questions or uncertainty about what I was doing, how I was supposed to do it, or for whom. I was in a groove. I was settled in my role. And that was great for a little while until the irritation came. I wanted to do more for the clients, more for the organization, more for myself, just more. I was in the comfort zone, safe job, secure income, autonomy, service, but no eustress, nothing to push me. And just when I decided it was time to look elsewhere, my captain came to tell me the director, my supervisor, was leaving and they were promoting me to his position. Cycle 2 began in March 2013. I was now the director of social services, less than 2 years after being hired at the Salvation Army. Uncharted territory. Reports and board meetings and writing grants and KPIs and supervising employees and social work interns, creating program budgets and making sure the clients were getting great service. All of that was now my responsibility. And then 3 years later, I had most of that moving pretty well. I knew what I was supposed to be doing. I knew how to do it. I was comfortable with my life and my work overall. And you know what happened next? And then the irritation came. I didn't end up leaving the comfort zone until February 28th of 2019, just because of some hiring things. But when I did, the feeling of newness, hope, untapped potential, and beauty captured me. I had pushed out another pearl. Captain, I am incredibly grateful for the time that I have spent here, the work that we have been able to do, the lives we have touched, and all that I have learned in these 7 years. I have grown a lot in this role, and I know that I probably would not have had the chance to lead in this way if not for the Salvation Army giving me an opportunity. For this, as well as the friendships developed and ministry done, I leave with no regrets for where we have been together. When I exited the building, I didn't expect to get emotional about that. When I exited the building, I landed again in uncharted territory, New Zealand. And I'll come back another day and tell you that story. And the cycle of growth continued. After 5 years, many cycles, and no regrets, it is still the truth that my comfort zone, your comfort zone, is not a resting place, but a launching pad. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Jesse. And thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to share. God bless you.